All right, hello again, everybody. Welcome to our next lesson here. This is the law in society. So we have our objectives and standards here. You will be able to identify different groups of laws, and you will be able to understand the process of lawmaking. Okay, take a moment there to look over the standards, please, if you would. I'm circling them now for you. And our desired result, what are the different groups of laws that impact society? So groups of laws. There are two major groups of laws, criminal and civil. Criminal and civil. Criminal regulate public conduct and set out duties owed to society. So, for example, government charges a person with committing a crime. The penalties are issued, fines, imprisonment, such as jail or things like that. And the offenses are divided into different areas as well, such as felonies and misdemeanors. Okay, there's two types of crimes or in the criminal sector. Felonies are serious crimes, such as murder or robbery. Misdemeanors are less serious crimes, such as assault or minor theft. And if you don't know the definition between all of them, that's okay. We're going to talk about what those are later on in the school year, so don't worry about that too much. The next group of laws are civil laws, and these regulate regulations between individuals or groups of individuals. So a person who feels that they have been wronged or injured by another person can bring about what's called a civil suit. And the injured person may be awarded money. This could be something, maybe a doctor made a mistake, or maybe you or your parents were in a car accident. You can sue someone for money. And courts may also order the person who committed the wrong to make amends in other ways, such as maybe go to Alcoholics Anonymous classes, AA classes, or anger management classes, or a rehab. If it's a drug offense, maybe they order them to go to a rehab center for help. Marriages, divorces, contracts, real estate, insurance, consumer protection, and negligence, again, all things we're going to talk about, so if you don't know what those mean, don't worry, are involved in civil cases. So parties involved. Behaviors can sometimes violate both criminal and civil laws, okay? In a criminal case, a case is brought by the government, okay? A case is brought against a person by the government, accuses a crime, and that person is known as the defendant, okay? Sorry about my crazy check mark there, but they're known as the defendant. Civil cases involve a plaintiff or a person or company harmed by the action of the defendant bring a case to court. In the famous O.J. Simpson trial, which you may or may not be familiar with, O.J. Simpson is right here on the left-hand side. Famous athlete, and he also did some acting. He was found not guilty in the murder of his ex-wife Nicole Brown Simpson, and her friend Ron Goldman. However, he was later sued in civil court by Ron Goldman's parents and was ordered to pay damages for the death of their son. Okay, so just because you're found not guilty in one court, sometimes you hear this on the news that, oh, the person was found not guilty in criminal court, but now the person or the family or a group of people are suing that person in civil court, and that person may have to pay money or do something else. So if you're interested in the O.J. Simpson trial, we can definitely talk about that later on, or you can look it up on your own. Just be careful with looking up stuff online, but we can definitely talk more details about that if you're interested. Okay, so the Constitution framework. So the highest law of the land is the U.S. Constitution, okay? And it sets forth the basic principles of government in the United States. I believe that should say three, but I'm sorry, that should be the, not there. The powers of the government are laid out, but there are also limits to protect the people. The legislative branch is the Congress that creates laws or statutes. The executive branch is the president and the cabinet who enforce the laws or make sure the laws are carried out. And then we have the judicial branch, which are the courts and the Supreme Court, which interpret the laws. And we'll talk more about the courts and how they play a role in lawmaking as well. Now, a limited government was established by the founders of the U.S. Constitution to protect individuals from a strong national government, okay? So remember back to the American Revolution, we fought against Great Britain and a strong king and parliament. So when we won that war, we wanted to create a government that wasn't as strong. But we have a government that's strong in the sense that protects the rights of people and our country, but we don't want to overstep our bounds as well. And one of the ways that we do that is the U.S. Constitution, which has a separation of powers so that no branch of the government, the legislative, the executive, or the judicial, can become too powerful. And this is known as a system of checks and balances. So protecting the people. In the U.S. Constitution, branches of the government can check the powers of each other. Okay, so like for example, the president can appoint people to fill cabinet positions, but they have to be approved by Congress. The president can veto laws. Also, the courts make sure that laws are constitutional and don't violate anybody's rights or freedoms. We also have federalism. Federalism is the sharing of powers between the national government and state government. So the national government can do certain things, and the state governments also have some rights too that they can use to protect people. And finally, we have the Bill of Rights, which you may have heard about. The Bill of Rights are the first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution that protect the rights of people, such as freedom of speech and right to a trial by jury. Making changes to the Constitution. Throughout the years, there have been many changes to the U.S. Constitution known as amendments. Again, sorry about my crazy check mark there. See if I can fix that a little bit better. I just made it worse, but I'm trying to do my best there with that, okay? Currently, the U.S. Constitution has 27 amendments, and to add an amendment, at least 38 states must vote to approve the change, all right? All right, so our closure. What are the different groups of laws that impact society? We're talking here specifically about criminal laws and civil laws. Make sure you understand them and how they work. And I hope to talk to you all soon. Hope you have a great rest of your day or night. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.